Welcome back, car enthusiasts. Today I have a special treat. Behind me is the 2023 Aston Martin DBX 707. This is the ultimate in performance SUVs. We're going to see what makes it special, and we're going to give it a drive and hopefully put the drag on it and give it the business. One of the things you notice about this car is the aggressive style of it. Look at the hood. You got functional vent hoods on top here for the heat extraction. Coming down here, of course, you have the Aston Martin plate right here. Coming down here, you got your blacked out grille, you got your front view camera, carbon fiber going through the splitter. This thing is built for performance. Another interesting note about this is that this grille is 27% bigger than the previous versions of this vehicle. They want more air coming in here. They want to cool that engine, as this has got a turbocharged V8 from AMG. And we will go over that here in a minute. Another thing to notice about this car is these huge wheels. 23-inch rims sitting on Pirellis. These things are massive. Look at the massive yellow Aston Martin brake calipers right here. This thing is built for performance, and it is basically a race car in an SUV body. It is freaking nuts. Look at the size of these brake discs. 16.5-inch brake disc in the front, 15.4 inch in the back. Massive brake disc, because you need stopping power when you have a car that tops out at 193 miles an hour. Coming around to the side, you got more venting for more airflow, aerodynamics coming here from the side. You got the blacked out mirrors. You got carbon fiber trim coming all down through the length of the side. It is just a very good looking, aggressive SUV. I love Aston Martins. I'm a James Bond fan. I'm not gonna lie, and I hope this is the first of many Aston Martin reviews that I'll be doing in the future. So come on, let's go check out the rest of this. Coming around to the back, we still maintain the same aggressive mindset and the same aggressive style. We have Aston Martin right here blacked out. Of course, we got the logo here. We got pure carbon fiber and even a little wing here going through here. We got massive quad exhaust tips. We got two over here. We got two over here. We got a carbon fiber spoiler up here on top. This thing just screams aggression, and I am completely excited to be reviewing it today. I can't wait to get in it and show you guys what the inside looks like, because it's just as good as the outside. This just isn't a performance car. It's got practicality as well. You got a large amount of trunk space here. The back seats, both of them completely fold down. And you got buttons right here and right here that automatically make them fold down. So you don't even have to push or pull or anything else. You just push the buttons and they go down. All right, let's go in and check out the interior. We'll start with the back seat first. Here you see awesome yellow stitching with this very soft top grade leather. Look at the carbon fiber trim there going down through here. Of course, there you got your upgraded stereo system. Coming over here, there's your seats. Look at the yellow stitching. I love the yellow piping on the seats. Coming in up here at the top, and there you have the Aston Martin logo. These seats are exactly like the seats up front. A lot of car manufacturers won't do that. The back seats are an afterthought. They kind of get downgraded, but Aston Martin makes sure that the seats are exactly the same. Sitting back here, I'm 5'10", 5'11". You see I have plenty of leg room, very comfortable. Down here you got your climate controls for your passengers. You got USBs. Look at the massive panoramic moonroof. This thing goes all the way back. Look at it. That's how far it goes back. It is truly massive. And I'll close it when I get back up front, but there's also a Alcantara lining when you close this, which is really nice. And what back seat would be without a cup holder armrest for us to use? All right, coming up front, same as the back, you got the yellow piping. Of course, here you got your window controls, more speakers, more awesome carbon fiber. Coming down here, you got your Aston Martin DBX badge, hand built in Great Britain. Look at the seat controls you have here. I don't even know what all of these do, to be honest with you. But you do have 3 memory seats there. Well, of course, you got your perforated seats, heated and cooled. There's your yellow piping, and it goes up to your Aston Martin logo. Here we are inside the DBX 707. Of course, here you got your very nice hand-stitched leather steering wheel with your Aston Martin tag on it. That looks really sharp. Over here, of course, you see more of the yellow stitching Here you got your lights. Over here on this part of the steering wheel, you're gonna have your cruise control, your lane keep assist, your adaptive cruise control, also your phone on and off. Over here, you're gonna have your volume controls for your radio, and also your controls for how you wanna control the digital gauge cluster. You have metal paddle shifters here, which are very firm and very nice. Over here, you got your blinker and windshield wiper stock. Underneath that, you have your steering wheel, electrical steering wheel adjustable stock, and it also controls your heated steering wheel as well. There, you can see, and we're in Tennessee right now in October. We do not need a heated steering wheel whatsoever. Coming up here up top, there's your engine start stop. There is no gear shift or anything in this. There's your park, there's your reverse, there's your neutral, and there's your drive. They're all buttons. Coming over here, of course, here you got your 10-inch digital display. I got it set on air conditioning right now because it's pretty damn hot. You press the home button. You can control it down here. So there's for your vehicle. You have a knob here you can control. System, vehicle, connect, phone, media, radio. Climate control, drive modes. You see how everything's changing. Assistance, consumption, light settings, inside and outside for the light settings. Vehicle settings. So if you go into drive modes right here, individual, there's your, you can have engine data. Look at that, horsepower, torque, battery, oil temperature. Click out of that. Vehicle data, there you can see we can raise and lower it. Gas pedal percent, brake percent. I do love the animations on this. Aston Martin did a top-notch job. As I was mentioning earlier, we have this huge panoramic roof that goes all the way back. So we're going to close it so you can see Alcantara material all the way the back. I've never seen this before on a moonroof cover. Here's the key fob, and to be honest with you, it's one of the best key fobs I've actually ever seen. You have Aston Martin right there, got the logo there. Of course, there you have your lock, your unlock, your back door hatch. It's got weight too. This thing's got weight. It's a heavy key fob, and I think it really stands out and really looks good. All right, everybody, this is the business end and what everybody wants to see when you come and you look at a performance sports car or performance SUV. Here is the motor, AMG. So Aston Martin teamed up with Mercedes, got the AMG engine in here, and it is a 4.0 liter twin turbo V8 that cranks out 693 horses and 663 pound-feet of torque. And here in a little bit, we are going to put that torque to the test and see how she feels. I want everybody to focus in on this. Aston Martin, hand built, Great Britain, final inspection by, so everybody can see that, Richie Reese. So whoever buys this car in the future, if there's any issues with it, you can blame Richie Reese, because he was the one who finally inspected it. All right, everybody. One of the questions everybody wants to know is, Brian, or BamaCooley, how much is the DBX 707? Well, I'm here to tell you. $283,486. And that will get you this DBX. Is it worth it? Guess it depends on if you got the money or not. All right, everybody. We've reviewed the inside. We've reviewed the outside. We've talked about the power, made a couple of short clips. Now we're actually in the DBX 707, ready to drive it. We just put some gas in it. So who knows, we might go to the damn beach. It's hard to say. But this does have several drive modes. It's got a terrain, an individual, a GT, which is the standard, and it's got a Sport and Sport Plus. Why the hell this has a terrain and who in the world is going to take this off-road is beyond me. But it is what it is. It's on here. So last thing in the world I'm going to do is take a $260,000 car off-road, or I think this was 283 with the options. We're going to drive this, see how the acceleration is, see how it feels, and if we can find a spot, we're going to hook it up to the Draggy and, I don't know, give it the business and see what she'll do. So I'm in Sport Plus mode, which is what I typically do when I'm test driving. I don't deal with the normal stuff. We are going to see what we got. Ooh, that V8 sounds good. That V8 sounds real good. And I like it when it's gearing down. I like it when it gears down as well. When I say this is a race car in an SUV body, I really mean it. Top speed's 193, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and it's got a adjustable multi-link air suspension. You can raise this up 1.8 inches or lower it 1.2, depending on what drive mode you're in and where you're comfortable. We're in Sport Plus, so we're obviously in the lowest mode. But I'll go ahead and tell you, even though we're in the lowest mode, as far as the suspension and it stiffens and we got a tight steering wheel, it's still handling the road really well. It's not doesn't jar you. It still soaks up the bumps like it would if you had a normal suspension mode on. We do have exhaust on loud. This car or SUV is a head turner, and I'm always been partial to Aston Martins, just like I'm partial to BMWs. You know, I've always wanted to have, you know, the old school DB7s back in the mid 2000s that Daniel Craig drove and James Bond. I worked for the carbon fiber company that made the carbon fiber for the hood, roof, and trunk for that car. And we sent it to our sister company to do the pre-pregging, to actually make those panels. And everybody cried when he wrecked it in Casino Royale. I do have a passenger with me here that works for Carlock Automotive. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Augustine Carmona. I'm still fairly new at Carlock Motor Cars. It's been a blast, and hopefully we'll be finding a place where we can hit it. We need to hit it and give it the business. I did bring my Draggy, so it's charging. I can sync up my cell phone to it. At minimum, I want to get a full, this does have launch control, so I want to get a launch controlled 0 to 60, and if we have enough runway to get an eighth or a quarter, that's just icing on the cake. This will go 0 to 100 in a little over 7 seconds. I look at this car kind of like Superman. You look at it from the outside, it's a 5,100 pound SUV. It's Clark Kent, basically, is what you got. Other than the fact that if you take away the Aston Martin badging and everything else, it's Clark Kent. However, under the hood, it's Superman. Looking at the suspension, it's Superman. Looking at these rims and looking at the brakes and the 16.5-inch rotors, it's Superman. So it looks like Clark Kent unless you really know your cars and see that it's an Aston Martin. But it performs like Superman. So it's perfect for mall crawlers. It's perfect for people that want to take it to a track. It's perfect for people that, hey, some idiot in a Corvette pulls up next to you, thinks they're going to show off and get you off the line. Good luck. Good luck. One thing I noticed too, as I'm giving this the gas, and I'll put it to the test a little bit more when we get a chance, it seems to hold the power through the variety of the RPM ranges. Like, it's not, some vehicles, you know, they're really torquey low, some are a little bit more torquey or have more power up high. This seems to carry it pretty consistently throughout the RPM range. From an engineering perspective, I can't find much wrong with this car. I know a week or two ago I reviewed, and the review will be up probably within 3 or 4 days, of the Lamborghini Urus Performante, and that car is an amazing super SUV as well. And this is in the same class. It's not a supercar, it's a super SUV. Put a big S on the hood. But I know how much that car cost, and I covered it in my review. And I know how much this one cost,
with the options on it. And you're getting about 40 more horsepower and about another 40 pound-feet of torque with this. This sound. That's awesome. Oh my God, this car sounds amazing. Let's see. I'm trying to think, is this about the straightest point?
I think so, yeah, especially with this side.
All right, everybody, we're about to try to do a 0 to 60 draggy real quick, get it connected. All right, we got 60 in 3.24. Car and Driver can get it in 3. I'm not disappointed with that. I'm not a Car and Driver, and we're not on their track. So, did you know that this is actually 707 horsepower in Europe? And we only get like 693 here? I'm shocked that Aston Martin partnered with Mercedes to get the AMG engine in this. That's a straight AMG up there. Now it's built, in Britain, but it's the AMG design and all the AMG engineering. Looks, I give this an A. Comfortability, my Southern's coming out. I give this an A. Materials, as far as creature comforts on the inside, the softness of the leather, I give it an A. Technology, I give it a B+ because technology is pretty much standard across the board, right? Everybody's got adaptive cruise control. Everybody's got lane keep assist. You got a pretty responsive infotainment center, but that's pretty standard. So even though I give it a B+, it's not a knock. It's like all the other stuff. The digital gauge cluster, A. The graphics on this are amazing. The way they write the DBX here in this little script that they got going on is definitely an A. Suspension and handling, I give it an A+. Even in the sport suspension, I'm not feeling anything on the road. Are you feeling anything?
No, that's one of the things I was thinking about.
We're in the tightest setting. Engine, I got 3.24, 0 to 60. Next time we're going to get a 3. I mean, you can't complain about that for an almost 5,200 pound vehicle. Now, everybody's going to say, what about price? That's the issue, right? Who has $280,000 to spend on a SUV? More people than you think. Because there's a reason why they make these cars and they sell them, because they can sell them. They're not making them to sit somewhere on a dealer parking lot. The key thing here is that you can't look at the price, you got to look at what it compares to. How does it compare to the Lamborghini? How does it compare to the Rolls-Royce SUV? How did the Cullinan, which to me is, that's a whole different beast. So you got to compare it to comparable vehicles, not just say, well, it's a lot more expensive than a Lexus SUV or a BMW SUV. Well, no, duh. Like, yeah, it is. But, so, oh man, this is awesome. Literally, I was doing 60, put the pedal down to give it the business, and it still was pushing me back in my seat. It still had enough torque. The Lamborghini Urus I reviewed last week was $330,000. It's got a little bit less horsepower. The inside, you can argue, is a little bit nicer the way they have the start-stop and the Alcantara. But for my money, if I had the money and I was like, well, which one do I want to get? I'm going to go with Aston Martin. I think you get more for your money, relatively speaking. Let me just go and tell you, when you're driving this SUV, the cars next to you at red lights, they don't want none. They don't. I do like the carbon fiber trim on the outside. I think the particular carbon fiber weave that they use is very nice, and it follows the same pattern on the inside as it does the outside. So they're consistent. So they didn't use a cheaper weave pattern on the inside. A lot of cars will do, or a lot of car manufacturers will do, because it's not a performance, it's a visual accessory, not a performance accessory, so they'll go with a cheaper weave. All right, giving it the business. And the popping. I'm having too much fun. I shouldn't be allowed to have this much fun. Literally, I have no words to describe how this DBX drives. Like, I can't really fathom it from an engineering standpoint. I can't fathom it from just a driving standpoint. I mean, I could have taken that roundabout faster. I just wasn't comfortable doing it. Still, I had no issues turning, navigating it, hanging it tight, and then once I got halfway through the curve, just hitting the gas, and it just taking off. Obviously, I will sum this up with the closing when we get back to the dealership, but you know, I didn't get to drive the Lamborghini, so maybe next time I go back up to Chicago, the owner of that particular vehicle will be there and either let me ride in it with him or let me drive it while he's in there. So I can only speak to this and what this has to offer. But if you got the money, I would rather have this than a coupe because it's more practical. You can put stuff in the back. You can take little Johnny and little Susie to soccer practice or softball practice or baseball practice. You can haul around a couple of friends with them if you want.
You can be confident hitting some terrain without scratching the bottom of your car.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, right? If you're in a coupe, as nice as they are, as soon as you see an inclined driveway, you start drawing up. You're like, all right, I'm gonna have to go slow and come in at an angle to make sure I don't scrape. Or if you see a curb and you can't really see over the front end of the hood, you know, with front end cameras, that every vehicle's got front end cameras these days, it's not that much of an issue. It used to be, if you couldn't see over the hood, you were either going to hit a curb or scrape. You're not going to do anything like that with this. Even with the carbon fiber splitter up front, it's not, you don't have to worry about going up and down driveways that might have a little bit of a incline or slope to them. Giving it the business.
That roar is just beautiful.
Just to let everybody know, because you can't see it on the camera, I went from a dead stop to 93 miles an hour in that little bit of time. Oh look, we get to do a acceleration again. Gosh darn it. I hate that. I can't find much wrong with this vehicle. I'll discuss it a little bit more when we do the closing segment, but granted, like I said, I'm partial to Aston Martins. I'm a James Bond fan. And in the very near future, I'm going to be reviewing more Aston Martins. But I'm not going to discriminate. I'll do some Rolls Royces. I'll do a Maserati. I'll do some Bentleys. I know it's a rough hobby to have. And I know y'all feel sorry for me.
You gotta do a Bentley W12. That one's a fun one.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Flying Spur W12 is a really fun one to drive.
I want to do the Rolls Royce Cullinan at night with the lit up moonroof. Stars. All right, we got up to 99 there.
So this was the pavement that was just all bumpy and everything. They already fixed it, so I can't take you to that right now. At this red light, we're actually gonna turn to the left.
Yeah, I figured we'd start working our way back.
Yeah, so just make a circle.
This car, why do I keep saying car? This SUV definitely gets my full endorsement. It's one of the funnest vehicles I've ever driven. And here the past several months, I've driven some fun ones. But from handling, acceleration, the fact that it's plenty of room, it's comfortable, it's definitely one of the best vehicles and most fun vehicles I've ever driven. Like I said, it's a super SUV. Looks like Clark Kent. Goes like Superman. So if I drive this much more, I'm going to have to go in the settings and take that dinging off every time I'm over the speed limit.
Oh yeah.
So that's aggravating the hell out of me.
Yeah, and it's an option that you can always take it off.
All right.
The Maserati ones, the Levante, is even louder. It's so annoying.
Okay, to be fully objective, I have found one flaw. I just thought about it. There's one thing that this car doesn't have that it should have for the money. Heads-up display. It does not have a heads-up display. That's the one knock I have. Don't get me wrong, I love looking at the digital gauge cluster, and they do a remarkable job, but it needs a really good graphics heads-up display that you can also change based on the mode that you're in. So I think the gas mileage on this, and I didn't mention it earlier in the other parts of the review, I believe it's 20 highway, 15 city, or maybe 14 city.
So 20 highway, 15 city.
Yeah, 17 combined. That's not bad for a almost 700 horsepower vehicle. That's actually pretty damn amazing. A V8, a turbocharged V8, and on the highway you can get, and I bet depending on how you drive it, you can get better than 20.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My editors are going to have a ton of takeoff clip. Right here. That was nothing. That ate it. That ate it up. And I bet you really wouldn't have felt it if we were in the GT mode.
By all means, from here to the stop sign, you can hit it.
Is that a Porsche in front of us?
Yeah.
Blow his doors off. That's right, I just blew the doors off of a Porsche.
And then to the right over here.
Everyone, this is definitely the most fun I've ever had test driving a vehicle.
If there's no cars that are pulling out, we can probably do a gauge meter as well, so you can see. Oh, that was an Aston as well. Right here in this spot is where I do the U-turns.
Okay. Oh yeah, because it's just a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
All right, let's test the turning radius on this. Oh, that's a tight turning radius. That's actually really good.
But you could have kept it like turning and see how it felt.
Oh, just go into a... All right, I'm down. Let me back up. All right, I hope everybody's not getting dizzy on the camera. Oh my. Look at this turning radius. See, this is where I need a videographer, somebody on the outside videoing.
It's for a big car and everything as well too.
That is a tight turning radius. Like, we just went around 5 or 6 times and it was a very small space. All right, everybody, there you have it. A full review of the Aston Martin DBX 707. This is the super SUV. I don't know of another SUV that I would put above it. That includes the Lamborghini Urus, which hopefully I can drive and then I can get a direct comparison other than just a external and internal review. But for me right now, this is the ultimate performance SUV. Special shout out to my friends here at Carlock Automotive. They have all your luxury car needs. They got Maseratis, they got Aston Martins, they got Rolls Royces, they got Alfa Romeos, they got Bentley. If you want a luxury car and you're in the Nashville Brentwood area, or if you're online, check them out. I will put a link in the description for this car, and I will put a link to their website. Please check them out. Tell them BamaCooley sent you. And remember, if you're in the back roads like I was today in Mexico, where it's legal and you got a fun car or truck to drive, go ahead and give it the business and have a good time. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.